My baby is born, but why do I still look like I'm pregnant? And my baby's 2 years old. Please like and subscribe for similar content. So what is DR? What is diastasis recti? It is the separation of your abdomen, and it forces it to protrude out like a dome shape. And I know all about the dome shape because my belly is like a straight up dome. Before you do anything, go to your doctor or midwife to determine if you have diastasis recti. I knew something was off. I gave birth, everything was out, but I still had a very hard feeling belly. And I knew something was off because I heard the midwife say something about like the shape and the feel of my belly, and it was a dome shape. I remember one of my cousins saying, like, after you give birth, you're gonna still look 3 months pregnant, 4 months pregnant. But I gave birth and I looked definitely like about 6 months pregnant, and I carried big. And I did my follow-up with my midwives. They mentioned that I have diastasis recti. She wanted to help, but she was ill-informed on what she was advising. She was saying to do like crunches and bicycle crunches, which are absolute no-no. If you have diastasis recti, you're actually not supposed to do any ab exercises until everything is sorted out. Diastasis recti is also known as abdominal separation. So when you are pregnant and you carry a baby in your belly, your stomach grows, obviously. And so your muscles so this is your abdominal wall, for example. And so your muscles are on the other side. They're on the side that my face is on, my body is on. So eventually when your belly starts expanding, sometimes your muscles protrude out and they create this gap. And that gap gets bigger and bigger, and sometimes it depends on the size of the baby. If you're carrying a large baby, and in my example, that was pretty much what happened. My baby was born at 8'11". Other ways that you could get diastasis recti: if you've had multiple births, if you gave birth 35 or up, and it's also been seen in men and children. But when we think about diastasis recti, for the most part, we usually think about pregnant women. Here I am being told like I have diastasis recti, and I needed more information because my midwife wasn't very clear, and it didn't seem like she had the best information as well on what I should do. She did mention seeing a physical therapist, so that was great. That was something that also that's like covered under your insurance. So I contacted a physical therapist, and he was great. He really was like trying to work with me. He had a lot of experience working with women with diastasis recti, and I'll just refer to it as DR. So when I went to him, I discovered that my diastasis recti was about 2 to 3 centimeters big, and the way that they measure is very scientific. They use your fingers and do a crunch. And right where your belly button is where you're gonna put your finger in, and you're gonna feel around and see how many fingers you could put in. And so right before I did this video, I did it and I felt like it was about 2. When I first gave birth, right after, it was about 3, so it closed up about 1 centimeter. But here my baby is now 2 years old, so I'm a little bit like scared about what's gonna happen. I signed up with Mutu. Mutu is a system to close your abdominal gap by using breathing exercises and exercises to work on your core and then your rest of your body. Signed up with Mutu when my baby was about 9 months, and I've used it on and off until now. But the gap closed about 1 centimeter, and I think it would have probably closed if I didn't use any exercise program. But now here I am 2 years later, and I'm not sure if I need to get surgery. It impacts me every day. Like, I can no longer run. If I were to run, that could possibly make my abdominal separation, my gap, larger. I can't do ab exercises. I can't plank, so I love doing yoga, and some of the yoga moves, there's planking. It does bum me out that, like, okay, I'm working on this to close my gap, and here I am 2 years after the baby's born, and I still have this gap. I still look visibly pregnant. So the gap that you have can also impact your recovery and how long it takes you to recover there. And in some cases, it can only be repaired surgically. And where am I right now? So I tried the mummytummy program. I really enjoyed it. I like the philosophy of the founder. I thought it was narrated well. However, I'm at the point where I feel like I'm really interested in going back to physical therapy. I feel like I need to give that another go. Another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to try another program. So there has been proven success with this program called Every Mother the Embody program, formerly known as the Dia method. And I did some research. I tried to look up some articles about it. I'm ready to like try something new along with doing physical therapy. And with the mummytummy system, they tell you what foods to stay away from, what foods to eat. And I have taken into some of that into consideration. So yeah, so in 3 months, I'm gonna do a whole review of both systems. But it might be that I do everything under the sun and the gap's still there. So that's like the other thing. I'm not trying to be negative, but like that's like something that I have to be like aware of. Opting for surgery is not something easy, right? Like first it's the funds and then there's the recovery. And for me, don't have the funds, but it's also like, who's gonna take care of my baby? 1 out of 3 women do get it when they're pregnant. Thank you so much for your time. Please like and subscribe if you want similar content.